Good evening, folks. It's Diamond with the Oppenheimer Ranch Project, Magnetic Reversal News, and Shinrin Yoku, bringing you a grand solar minimum update Thursday, September 29th, around 4 p.m. Mountain Time 2022. The models are in, and there is snow ho ho in the forecast. But the big story is Ian. It is not done. It is not over. Ian is back as a hurricane. Rescuers scour Florida's flooded disaster zone amid massive power outages as Ian continues its ruinous crawl. Keep calm, it's boom time. Now, Ian has just redeveloped into a hurricane offshore as it brought historic damage to Florida. My brother's house is flooded. Fort Myers is destroyed. Bonita Beach, Sanibel Island. There is lots of destruction, and it's going to take a long time to rebuild. Now, the power outages earlier today had reached 2.6 million, but the good news is that they have taken care of that earlier, down to 1.9 million, and let's refresh this. Oh, it's back to 2.6 million. So I was hoping that those crews got out today and would help this number, but the number continues to increase as Ian remains offshore and devastate Southwest Florida. The Sanibel Causeway will need to be rebuilt. It's almost completely missing. And you can check here to some of the links below the video on the latest updates from mainstream media. Here's the National Hurricane Center, the 5 p.m. position of Ian, which is currently a Cat 1 hurricane with sustained winds at 75 miles per hour, will remain hurricane strength as it makes landfall here, Charleston, 2 p.m. on Friday. So I hope there's preparations going out there. It's looking like up to a 7-foot storm surge. And here are the spaghetti models. So they're pretty much in agreement where they're going to hit there. Looks like just a little east of Charleston, or south of Charleston, as I should say. Ian's going to make its way up to West Virginia and then switch direction and come back out. Take a look at that. So those are the models. Here's the experimental peak storm surge from Patrick Air Force Base all the way up to Duck in North Kakalaki with storm surge warnings. But those that should take heat are from Flagler all the way up, let's say, to Little River Inlet. Could be up to a 5 to 6 foot storm surge there, 4 to 7 feet from Estido Beach to South Sanity. So central South Carolina, where that landfall is going to be happening. So heed the warnings. And if you can, get out of Dodge. Hurricane warnings issued for South Carolina. After crossing the Florida Peninsula, the center of Ian has emerged into the western Atlantic Ocean, and the storm is expected to re-strengthen into a hurricane before making another landfall along the coast of South Carolina. Hurricane warnings have been issued for the entire coast of South Carolina. Life-threatening storm surge, damaging hurricane-force winds, and flooding are possible. So take heed if you're on the coast. That's all I can say. Now, here's some of the aftermath of Ian in Florida. We've got flood gauges off the charts. This was yesterday, and I'm going to refresh it, and there's more. So when we see that dark black, that means there's flooding potential. And here's an example. This is the St. Johns River near Melbourne, Florida, and it is continuing to rise. So a lot of those rivers in Northeast Florida will be flooding, and pollution from Florida mining is also a concern. These are stacks which are filled with radioactive phosphate mining garbage. It's their waste material. And some of them only have the ability to withstand 9 inches of rain, and they start overflowing. And they definitely got 20 plus inches of rain where some of these stacks are. So this could be polluting Florida with radioactive waste. And if you want to know why there was so much damage, well, read the article, The Boomtown That Shouldn't Exist. Cape Coral, Florida was built on total lies. One big storm could wipe it off the map. Let's take a look at that snow ho-ho. But let's take a look at the path here that they have for Ian. And it's looking as if it is going to strengthen a little here over the next 12 to 24 hours before it makes landfall. Maybe as a Cat 2. So eyes on Ian. Seismic update. Hawaii's rocking as Kilauea is continuing to erupt. And we had some large activity at the mid-ocean ridges. A 6.5 in the South Sandwich, followed by a aftershock here at 5.4. Now I want to draw your attention over here to the Requienes Ridge. where there have been up to 100 quakes around 5 magnitude in the last week. It's very intriguing. The amount of energy being released here is insane. And not a lot of traction or people talking about it. So this is an ongoing event, and it's increasing. Orange is just today. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 15 or more 5 magnitudes just today. Up to 5.2, I see. 5.7. So, very interesting event on the Reykjanes Ridge. Wanted to draw your attention to. Worldwide Volcano News Update. Couple things going on with volcanoes. Alade continues to erupt with constant ash emissions. An Ibu volcano in Indonesia with vigorous eruptions today. And Popo Catapetl in Mexico, glowing lava bombs thrown from the crater. Space weather news update. The sun is pretty quiet. We've ramped up with some moderate sea flaring today, but nothing headed to Earth. We are worried about is this geomagnetic storm tomorrow and the next day into October 1st could get up to G2 geomagnetic storm, all because of these coronal holes that are facing us. Coronal hole 27 and 28, quite large, are going to add together, and that coronal hole stream will be smashing into Earth in less than, just about 24 hours. So hours of powers. Let's take a look at the 3-day geomagnetic forecast and take a look at that. We could be in geomagnetic storm for much of October 1st. So a heads up there. Some science news. Some of Europe's oldest known modern humans are distantly related to Native Americans. And we will do a follow-up on Magnetic Reversal News on the scientific analysis and what our take is on the genome sequencing that showed some individuals share family ties with surprising populations. And all boast plenty of Neanderthal relatives, but Native Americans are related to some of Europe's oldest modern humans. So mind-blowing there. Also mind-blowing is the Rational Climate ebook. Second edition, which we're going to give you for free. It's a 652-page PDF on the fact that cooler is riskier. And if you want to know about actual climate science, we implore you to take a look at the multidisciplinary perspectives on climate and paleoclimates by Patrice Poyet. And it's free, so why wouldn't you look at it? Now, also, take a journey over to our Rumble channel and subscribe there and watch our most recent update. It's intriguing on the mysterious downward spiral. That's boom, the knowledge. Thank you all for watching. Proper prior planning prevents piss poor performance. In a dystopian world, you tune in to the Oppenheimer Ranch Project for a little peace of mind. We thank you for that. Thanks to all our one-time donors, our Patreons, and the heroes that share this video. We love you. And that's a boom.